The Art of Walking Alone by Zion Drew. Chapter 1. The Wilderness of the Chosen. When you begin to awaken, the first thing God does is separate you. He pulls you away from what you thought you needed. The calls stop coming, the faces disappear, and the noise fades until it's just you and your thoughts. That silence is not punishment, it's the sound of purpose being sharpened. The wilderness is where God builds his soldiers. The weak see isolation as rejection. The chosen see it as preparation. No man becomes divine in the crowd. The crowd builds idols, not disciples. They cheer when you conform and crucify when you don't. Every prophet, every thinker, every visionary had to walk alone before anyone walked with them. Moses left Egypt. Jesus went into the desert. Siddhartha left the palace. They didn't walk away from comfort. They walked toward clarity. If you can't be still with your own spirit, you'll forever chase what was meant to follow you. The man who learns to walk alone meets the one thing the world fears most, himself. That's the battlefield. When you face your own reflection, stripped of validation, stripped of applause, that's when you either break or awaken. Chapter 2. Magnetism and the Law of Stillness. Everything in creation moves toward balance. The moon doesn't chase the tide, it pulls it. The sun doesn't beg to shine, it just burns and life forms around it. The same law governs you. When your energy stops chasing, the universe begins to chase you. This is divine magnetism, the art of becoming instead of begging. People waste their life chasing what they could attract through stillness. When you act from desperation, you push things away. But when you become rooted in purpose, everything gravitates toward you: opportunity, love, peace, wealth. The world feels your frequency and adjusts itself to it. Stillness isn't inactivity, it's alignment. The lion doesn't roar for attention, he sits in silence because he knows who he is. The man who walks alone radiates the same confidence. He doesn't chase validation, he builds it within. The second you stop begging to be seen, you start to be respected. Silence becomes your language, presence becomes your message. The power is never in pursuit, it's in position. Chapter 3. Why Chosen Men Walk Alone. Most people can't handle the fire that burns in chosen men. Your hunger threatens their comfort. Your truth exposes their lies. That's why isolation comes with elevation, because divine energy doesn't mix with mediocrity. You'll notice that when you rise in awareness, you outgrow more than friends, you outgrow versions of yourself. Chosen men walk alone because they were never meant to blend in. Their purpose requires precision, and crowds bring confusion. You can't hear God when you're tuned to gossip. You can't build destiny while scrolling through distraction. So God pulls you out, not to hurt you, but to hide you. He places you in rooms of silence so you can remember your sound. Every chosen man learns this. Solitude is not loneliness, it's sovereignty. In solitude, you stop being a puppet of emotions. You stop depending on applause. You begin to move with divine direction. That's when the world calls you cold, distant, unapproachable. They don't understand it's not pride, it's purpose. You stop chasing comfort because you've met calling. You stop seeking attention because you've met truth. And when you finally learn how to walk alone, you realize you were never really alone. Chapter 4. The Feminine Rope. Energy is magnetic. Masculine energy builds, protects, and pursues purpose. Feminine energy nurtures, attracts, and reflects emotion. When these energies align, creation happens, but when they're out of balance, destruction follows. Women hold power that men often don't understand. The feminine is the mirror of the masculine soul. When a man loses himself chasing her, he breaks his reflection. The more he chases, the more she runs. The moment he stands firm, she feels the pull. This is the secret of polarity. What runs away from you when you need it will return to you when you no longer depend on it. But love is still a risk. Every connection comes with a cost. Judas betrayed with a kiss, not a knife. The ones you love most often hold the power to wound deepest, but you cannot hate the reflection for showing you the wound. Love teaches discernment. The feminine teaches patience. She draws out the parts of you that need healing. Real masculine energy doesn't control, it leads. It doesn't chase, it commands presence. It doesn't manipulate, it creates stability. When a man finds peace within himself, he stops being addicted to reaction. The feminine no longer controls him through emotion, she joins him through devotion. Chapter 5. The Judas Principle. Every man who carries light will encounter his Judas. Betrayal is not just a moment, it's a mirror of the world's condition. Jesus fed Judas, walked with him, trusted him, and still was betrayed. It wasn't about hate, it was about prophecy. Your Judas doesn't show up to destroy you, he shows up to reveal you. The betrayal pushes you into purpose. Without Judas, there is no crucifixion. Without crucifixion, there is no resurrection. That's the cycle of divine evolution. When people betray you, understand, they're fulfilling their role in your ascension. You don't need revenge, you need revelation. God uses betrayal to detach you from dependency. You learn who you are not by who stays, but by who leaves. Forgive Judas, but never forget the lesson. Trust is sacred, but discernment is divine. Not everyone who walks with you walks for you. Some are there to carry the cross. Others are there to nail it. Both are necessary. Chapter 6. The Art of Detachment. Detachment is not apathy, it's mastery. The ego wants control, the spirit seeks flow. Detachment is the art of loving without clinging, giving without expecting, and existing without explaining. When you detach from outcome, you align with divine timing. The Bhagavad Gita teaches, act without attachment to results. Jesus said, take no thought for tomorrow. Different words, same code. Both teach that real power comes when you release the need to control what's already written. The future belongs to those who move without fear of loss. When you detach, you stop bleeding energy. You stop forcing what's not meant for you. You begin to trust the unseen. You realize that what leaves your life is never a loss. It's a lesson. You begin to see every rejection as redirection, every ending as evolution. To detach is to say, God, I trust you even when I don't understand you. That's faith on a master level. When you reach that point, peace replaces panic. You don't chase anymore because you know what's yours can't pass you. Chapter 7. Divine Abundance. The greatest lie ever told is that there's not enough. Not enough love, not enough money, not enough opportunity. But look around, God didn't create lack. He created infinite systems of flow. Every tree has more seeds than it needs. Every ocean has more waves than it can count. The universe operates in overflow. The only reason we experience lack is because we think like beggars instead of creators. You can't receive divine abundance with a scarcity mind. God's table has no reservations, but he only serves those who believe they belong. Faith is the key. Abundance is not just wealth, it's alignment. It's waking up with gratitude, working with purpose, and resting with peace. When you start moving with divine principles, opportunities multiply. People sense your energy and want to connect. Doors open because your spirit commands them to. God doesn't bless confusion, he blesses clarity. He doesn't reward begging, he rewards belief. When you realize abundance is not earned but tuned into, you stop striving and start aligning. Chapter 8. The Moment is Heaven. The most divine thing you can do is be present. Heaven is not a destination, it's a vibration. Every breath is a doorway into eternity. Most people never enter it because they're trapped between regret and anxiety. The past is memory, the future is imagination. The only real place God exists is now. When you live in the moment, you realize peace isn't something to chase, it's something to choose. The art of walking alone becomes the art of walking awake. You stop living for applause and start living from awareness. Every sound, every sight, every breath becomes sacred. The mind will try to distract you with what-ifs and should-haves, but the soul whispers, be still. When you honor the now, you step into flow. You begin to see divine patterns in everything, the way light hits a wall, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the silent miracles hiding in the mundane. That's when you understand, life isn't happening to you, it's responding to you. Chapter 9. Walk alone until the world follows. The man who learns to walk alone eventually becomes the one everyone follows, not because he begged for attention, but because he embodied truth. The world respects what it can't manipulate. When you master solitude, you radiate something money can't buy: peace, power, and presence. Every time you walk alone, you teach others that it's possible. You break generational fear. You become a walking sermon that says, you don't need permission to be divine. That's leadership. So keep walking, walk through the doubt, walk through the silence, walk through the betrayal and the heartbreak. Walk until your steps turn into sound and your sound turns into legacy. The same people who left will circle back. The same doors that closed will open wider, but you won't even need them anymore because you'll realize the kingdom was within you all along. When your energy no longer chases, everything chases you. When you stop searching for validation, you become the validation. When you detach from fear, you inherit freedom. Walk alone until the world follows. Because when you walk with God, you never walk alone.